Hello everyone, this is Fuzzy Sheep 12. Today is November 9th, and today's theme for Hypnovember 2025 is snaps. So I think we're all familiar with the sound of a snap. I've done them before in a few other files, but what is a snap? So if we go over to the dictionary, the definition I'll be using is a sudden, sharp, cracking sound or movement. So, using my fingers, I can flick them against my palm and make a sound. That's known as a snap. And how do we even use this sound in a hypnotic way? Well, get comfy, get cozy, and get those listening ears on. So, this one, I will admit, is not my strong suit. But snapping itself is a fantastic way to grab someone's attention. And I don't mean at restaurants and being rude to waiters. Instead, I just mean a simple, hey, focus over here for a minute. Or look over here, or listen to this, or do this now. Right? It has certain implications that almost draw your focus in, telling your mind that something important is happening, and that you might as well pay attention. So, as I draw your attention in, I could quite simply just tell you to drop, and by the sound of the snap, your mind automatically knows to drop now. But what if we took that and I said, every time I say a word that is equivalent to you dropping or sinking, you only get to do so if it's followed or until you hear a snap. So I could just be rambling, talking about how easy and how effortlessly you just drop straight into a trance, and until you hear that snap, you're not gonna drop down deep. So yeah, just as I was saying before, it's so incredible just feeling your body relax, feeling that state of trance start to close in just a little bit, getting so comfy and so cozy, that relaxation really starting to spread across your body. And you can almost dip into trance. You can almost drop. But you're waiting for that anticipation, that moment, that final say of when you can. And it's getting there, don't worry. But just think how much your expectations of trance are building over and over and over the longer you wait for that moment to hear that sound. And the second you hear that sound, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly where your mind wants to be. In fact, don't go any deeper yet. Not until you hear that sound again. What sound? That sound? That sound. Yeah, that sound. So don't even try to think about it. Don't even think how quickly that could be multiplying in the background, or how deep the sound truly will carry you the next time you hear it. It's not terribly important. I mean, that anticipation can just build on its own anyway. Instead, you're focused on my voice and listening and following along so very well, right? And at any moment you could hear that sound, but you're trying not to think about it. In fact, don't think about it, because the longer you think about it, the more it will just increase its expectation, right? And you don't really want to ruin the expectation, because when that final moment happens, you want to be ready. I mean, if it catches you off guard, who knows what could happen if that happens, right? So you want to be ready to hear that sound. You want to be ready to expect to drop deep, maybe even twice as deep down, because you've already heard it a few times and you already know what it means. So there's nothing more jarring than hearing that snap and finally getting exactly what you were expecting. But now the problem arises, or reward if you want to think about it that way, where you hear that sound more than once, and now your mind isn't really sure what to do. Do you drop even deeper down just by simply hearing the sound? Because that anticipation built up so far that it hasn't quite all spilled over yet. So every time you hear that snap sound, it just brings you all the way down. And then again, all the way down. And again, all the way down. Until you're not really sure how far down you are, how close you could even be to being up. But that's okay, because you just have my voice guiding you, my words allowing you to rest and relax, and that sound to tell you where to go. So go down, just like that. The word, the sound, both telling you to go down. Now. Fantastic. I'm glad you're so attuned to listening to each and every single word that I'm saying. It's so very easy to just listen, isn't it? And that snap sound just draws your attention back. Over here. Where your focus gets captured. And the words that I'm saying seem to have a different tail to them. Instead of a generic, alright, you're allowed to drop and relax and sink now. You're waiting. That anticipation. That knowledge that the snap will come. It will happen. And you'll just fall that much more deep. Isn't that fantastic? Just like that. You've done such a good job at listening today that I almost feel bad for having to interrupt and start the count up. But eventually, that is how files work, where you have to come back awake into the waking world. So I'll count up to 5, starting with 1, going up to 2, up to 3, up to 4, coming back into the room that you're in, maybe stretching, shifting, starting to wake up, and take that nice deep breath in. There you go. And of course, probably still waiting for that snap, coming all the way up with 5, wide awake, just like that. There you go. Thank you for listening to today's file, and I hope you enjoyed it.